NFL Week 7's underway. Bengals versus the Steelers. Came down to the last second. Let's talk about it. NFL Week 7, Bengals versus the Steelers. Joe Flacco, his second game for the Bengals, going up against Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people were calling it the icy hot bowl, I guess because these guys are old and they have sore muscles, but they're probably in better shape than most of us watching this game. What a game. Again, I've told you guys, Thursday Night Football, all the primetime national games this year have been great. This one was no different. 33-31, Joe Flacco, definitely comfortable now as a Cincinnati Bengal. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense look good, although I question why they gave up running the ball. They were running all over the Bengals in the first half, who didn't have Trey Hendrickson in there for injury, and they were a little behind the eight ball, so to speak, and they were running the ball well with Warren in the first half, and they went away from that in the second half. That may have led to the Bengals' comeback. Joe Flacco at the end of the game last week, the Bengals seemed to be figuring it out and being able to get the ball to Chase and Higgins and all the weapons. And as I said, I thought Chase Brown would start to see more opportunities with Flacco as the quarterback. And this game against the Steelers, that proved to be true. They were running the ball really well in the first half. Jamar Chase fantasy managers, you guys who drafted him first or second in your draft this year, you're waking up this morning very excited. He had 16 catches, which I believe they said on the broadcast was an NFL record.
And that is 16 catches for him, a new Bengals team record.
23 targets. I mean, it was like Flacco and Chase were just playing catch in the backyard. It's like every time Flacco dropped back, he was throwing it in Chase's direction. And if it wasn't that, it was T. Higgins, who had been sort of a fantasy disappointment early this year so far, but that has more to do with Jake Browning than him. T. Higgins having that big play at the end of the game where, from a fantasy perspective, you're like, T. Higgins, run in, get that touchdown. But you understand they had too much time left on the clock. If you give Aaron Rodgers that ball, they're going to have a chance to go down and score. From a fantasy perspective, T. Higgins just fell short of that 100-yard bonus as a receiver, but he seems to be well in play. And like I've said before with other teams who've had these veteran quarterbacks coming in for the injured quarterbacks, the veteran quarterbacks recognize the skill players and get them the ball. So Chase, Higgins, they were getting the ball. Chase Brown was having a good game running. The Bengals were 2-4 going into this game, now 3-4 and have hope. Joe Burrow, you saw him on the sideline. He now has reason to go back into that rehab room and get treatment and get ready, because as of right now, it looks like the Bengals can play a little football, at least on offense, and they might be challenging the Steelers for the division title. The Steelers, on the other hand, I mean, Aaron Rodgers did a good job. Like I said, they ran the ball well in the first half. Don't know why they went away from that. Mike Tomlin, if you saw his interview after Flacco was traded.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Clearly, he knows and respects Joe Flacco and what he can bring to the table for the Bengals. He knew putting a quarterback like Joe Flacco with those kind of weapons of Chase and Higgins, what it was going to do, and it was completely on display last night, showing, Flacco was throwing the ball to these guys almost at will. The big surprise towards the end of the game where he faked the handoff and took it and ran a naked bootleg for a first down, that was shocking. Maybe now he might need some icy hot after that run. That definitely wasn't something he's typically known for, but he was feeling it last night. He was feeling young. He was feeling peppy. He's got all these weapons. Arguably, I think Flacco has some of the best weapons he's ever been able to throw to in his career. I mean, you can argue that, but I mean, Chase and Higgins are two of the biggest and best wide receivers in the league, and you throw the ball in their direction, most of the time they're going to come down with it. Jamar Chase's numbers would have looked even better if not for a couple of balls that were bobbled. He had a couple of one-handed catches he almost made that he might have had 20 receptions last night, honestly. Bengals fans are hopeful today. Steelers fans feeling bad, but still in the driver's seat in that division. But now the Bengals seem clearly to be a threat. Joe Burrow, now there's a reason for him to come back if the Bengals can stay relevant and be in the playoff picture at 3-4 now. There's no reason to see why they can't keep challenging for that division. Their defense is still a little suspect. Hendrickson injury, that hopefully he's not out too long for them, because their defense wasn't that good before this game. Without him, they gave up 31 points, so the Bengals really weren't stopping anybody either, but they did a decent enough job. DK Metcalf wasn't really a factor, but Pat Freiermuth went crazy and had a couple of touchdowns for the Steelers, and Jonnu Smith also had another couple of touchdowns. So going forward, I don't know, from a fantasy perspective, if you've got tight ends going up against the Bengals defense, that could be a good matchup for you. So keep that in mind. Another exciting game on Thursday night. As I've said a couple times this year, Thursday Night Football, must-watch TV. If you don't have it, if you missed it, sign up for it. Get it next week, because that game next week is probably going to come down to the last second too. I do question the kickoff, why kick it into the end zone and let them kneel down and not have any time expire? Why not kick it into that landing zone and force them to run and use up a couple of seconds? That's something from the Bengals' perspective. Aaron Rodgers did have a shot there at the end. Maybe he doesn't have enough time to get that Hail Mary throw off if they kick it into the landing zone and force the Steelers to run it back. I don't know. It worked out for the Bengals, so who am I to say, who am I to question? It's just from a strategy standpoint, it seems to me like you might want to let these guys, when there's only 12 seconds left, you might want to let them run a couple of those seconds off by kicking it into that landing zone. But it worked out. So, Zach Taylor and his staff made the right decisions. I don't know anything. I'm sitting here talking to you guys on YouTube, and I'm in no position to make those decisions, but I'm just wondering why you don't kick it into the landing zone and force them to run it. But like I said, it worked out. Aaron Rodgers was able to heave that ball. He got it down in the end zone, and the guy who's probably had the most, I believe he has the most successful Hail Mary passes in the NFL history, had another shot at it. He got it up there, threw it up. It was on target to one of his receivers. One of the Bengals defensive backs comes up, knocks it to the ground. Game over. The icy hot bowl, as people were calling it, was a great one. Flacco and Rodgers put on a great show. They both can play this game. I mean, that's why they've been able to stay in this league so long. I mean, clearly, if you don't have talent, you don't stick around for 18, 19 years like these guys have. So hats off to all of them. As an old guy, I'm rooting for those guys just because, hey, they can still play. Just because someone's older, don't look at them like they can't do it. They can still do it. They got the smarts. They know this game inside and out. Nothing surprises them. I mean, Flacco's been there 10 days, and he's already figured out, get Jamar Chase the ball, and you'll win football games. It's a good recipe. Chase and Higgins are studs again. They've got a quarterback who can get them the ball. Bengals now have hope. Bengals fans have hope. Joe Burrow has reason to keep up his rehab and try to get back in December. They may be relevant. Only time will tell. It's only week 7. We've got a lot of games to go, but another great game. My hat's off as a TV professional, someone who's been in the business making television for over 30 years. The end of that game, the montage of all the reactions after the game-winning field goal by the Bengals, the reactions of the players and all the key personnel involved in the game, coaches, players, Rodgers, Flacco. It was perfect. Good job to the director. They had cameras on all the people. They had all the reactions. It was good drama, good television. I mean, sports is the best reality TV there is, in my opinion. That's why I love it so much. I'm sure that's why you love it so much. I'm rambling. That was an exciting game. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I can't wait to talk to you about the games coming up on Sunday and Monday. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to sign up for Prime and catch next week's Thursday Night Football. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to this channel because it supports the channel and helps me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening to me talk about football that I love so much. Enjoy the games on Sunday, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day.